everyone, how are you today? I'm just going to find you on my page here too, so I can make sure we get it all listed where everything's supposed to go. There I am. Oh, look, there I am. Yay. Gotta get the old share button going. Oh, come on. Facebook, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Ugh. So that's why I came on just a few minutes early, just to get everything set so that we can get it going. Oh, gotta post it. Don't want to edit it. Gotta post it. Post. Oh, I don't know if I could share it to that page. Hold on. Okay. Let's go. Hi. So today we're going to do something a little different. Look, let me get to my comments. There we go. I started using some of the Unique and the Creek boards. I did some Christmas things earlier. The trees this past Christmas in my hair, you know, it's like backwards. That way, who knows? And the thing is that I don't know all the petals. Did you know there were 18 different types of petals that you can use to make Unique and Creek boards? So I thought today we'd just go over just a few to get you guys learning how to do just a few of them. Now, this is on, I'm going to use my large board as an example board for you. But these petals, let me grab my boards here, can be used on the big triangle tree or carrot or ice cream cone, whatever you want to make it. The rings, hello, okay. They can be used on the angel wings. They have crosses. I don't have any cross boards, but those are just to name a few of the boards. But I'm using this one just to make it easier for you guys to maybe see on a board kind of what it would look like. I'm not going to cover a lot of them today because of the fact that there's 18. 18. You guys would go crazy just as much as I would in learning all the different boards. So I figured I'd start out with a couple of petals for you and a leaf. And then you guys can learn those, work with those a little bit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch cameras here because I bought the other camera in so you can see closer my hands. And I felt that would be easier for you guys. So there we go. There are the hands, the magic hands. Now, in talking about what do you use to tie your petal or leaf on, these are those little rubber bands that you get, those little hair rubber bands. Now, you can buy a whole bunch. They come in all different colors and stuff. And I don't know if you can see them very well. I call them like people use for their braces as well. I think it's the same ones. But anyway, I just got a whole bunch of them. The little clear ones or white ones, if you want to call it that. And as you're making a whole bunch of petals, everybody uses like the clips on them. Good afternoon, y'all. Hello. So I thought maybe it might be a good idea. I just got a whole bunch of them. Because instead of using the clips, you can use these. You can also, if you want to pre-tie them, got all my stuff lined up over here with little zip ties. These are the 4-inch zip ties. And you can just do that as well as use it in your board as well. So it's really up to you. But in making any type of petal, one, you need your board. You need whatever mesh it is that you want. You need a rotary color to cut your mesh. I have these. There is, it's just a pair of pliers that I can use to cut the zip ties with. Or you can use, they have some fancy little zip tie thing. In burning your mesh, if you so choose to, you don't have to. When you're cutting it, I have this wood burner. You can get these at any of the craft stores. Some have these rounded, you know, like a pencil tip. Some have it where it's like a rectangle tip. So it's really up to you what you would like to use for it. To use to cut your mesh. And of course, it's always nice to have a pair of scissors, nice, good cutting scissors on hand. You would need a large zip tie as well, because when you want to hang it, there's the 2 holes here that you can use the zip tie. If you so choose to use a piece of ribbon, you can do that as well. It's really up to you. All right, so the first thing we have to do is cut our mesh. Now, the first one that I'm going to show you is called, let's see if I could do this so you could see this the whole time, the Sunflower Green Leaves Petal. This is probably, in my opinion, the most common one that a lot of people use. Okay, and if you watched the other day, my friend Janet from Whimsical Creations online, she and I did use this style petal when we created our, I did a big yellow flower. So this one here, I've already pre-cut the mesh. You want it so, you see how it curls up? You want it so the curl side is down. Now you're going to have a nice edge, the top and the bottom when you cut it, and then you're going to have 2 raw edges. These are not burned. This one, I just cut this for y'all, you know, here. And what you're going to do with this particular petal that we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and scrunch it up from diagonal to diagonal. So you can see it's already forming 2 leaves, okay? Now, this is my good edge and my good edge. So what I like to do is see how I'm just going to pinch it in like this and pinch it at the bottom here. This is my raw edge. This is my nice edge. So what I like to do is overlap, put the raw edge underneath so I have a nice edge on top. And as I go through and make my leaf petals, I'll do the same thing, because the next one, this is the raw edge. When I put it over here, it will be tucked in underneath the nice edge. So that's just a little information there. Now, again, here's where you could use those little rubber bands if you're making a whole bunch of these. If you're just doing a few, you don't have to. You can. It's really up to you. And you can flatten these out. Now, if you find they're curling too much like this, what I usually do, my block fell. I will take something heavy and just let them sit on that. Like if I'm making a whole bunch before I'm doing a live or something, and just let it sit on it. Especially when you get to the end, you know, when you're at a roll that you're at the end like that, they like to curl a lot, and that helps flatten them out. So now this here, so I'm going to show you using the rubber bands so you can see. Oops. Let me just take a few out so you don't hear the, oh, they went flying on the floor. Now you have to be careful, because if you stretch these too much, they will break. And I go about 1 inch, and I'm only going to do it twice around. That holds it enough. So I'm going to use these outer holes you could see on the outside here. And that's where you would put your leaves. So if this is the top of my board, I may want to put it in 3 spots technically. But for right now, just for our sake of doing this demonstration here of the video, for the video that is, let me move this over here. For showing you the sunflower green leaves, you can use this as making the flower, which again is what we did the other day, or just as leaves. So I'm going to take my, I'm using the little 4-inch zip tie, and I'm going to put it right in there. And I'm going to take my leaves and put it in. Now, all of these are cut at 10 inches. I don't know if I said that or not. And I like to have a pair of pliers on hand to make sure I get it really tight to help pull it. Now what you can do is you can turn it and pop it through your hole, or put it close to your hole, so that way it doesn't stick anybody. So that would be your leaf. Now, if you want to put more than just this one leaf in here, you can if you want to. It's up to you. But we're just going to do one for this. Now, let's say now we want to make our petal, okay? So again, you can make these at 10 inches. I did mine when I did the flower the other day. I did them at 12 inches because I wanted them to stick out a little bit further than normal. If you find you're running out of mesh, you don't have to cut it at 10 by 10. You can cut it by 10 by 9 if you need to. Okay. So it's, you know, that 1 inch is not going to make that much of a difference. All right, so that's our sunflower or green leaf petal. So we're going to just stick that sign over there for this. Now what we're going to do is the Dean Michaels petal. Okay, so let me move my board. Again, really similar to the other one that we just did. And hold that thought. The Dean Michael one is good if you use a poly burlap. And I'm going to show, this is a poly burlap. So you can see the difference in what it's made out of. This has more burlap in it. But it's also a poly being plastic kind of thing. This is just a deco mesh. So this one's burned, but you can use that one. This is best for the leaves. A lot of people like it. I've done it with this and I've been fine. But it's just an idea for you or a thought for you if you want to do that. So very similar to the leaf one that we just did. Okay, same thing. We're going to turn it upside down. Make it flat on the board, just like that, or on our board. Now, again, you can see it's fraying a little bit, mine, because I did not burn these. And we're going to do the same kind of technique we just did with the other one. We're going to scrunch it up. Now, some people like to scrunch it up in the middle, and they'll do halfway like this, and then halfway like this. It's okay. It doesn't matter, whichever way you want to do it. The same way. I like to do it where I scrunch it all the way up like this. And like I said, it's so similar to the other one. And this is going to be our petal. See how pretty the petal looks? Just like that. So when you put your petal, I'm going to put this right over the green one so you can see it up against the green leaves. Again, you can use the little rubber bands if you want to. I just put it twice around. Again, I can use the 4-inch here. And I'm going to stick it right through the holes, if I can see the holes. There we go. Now, you can have these done where it's already just pulled enough so you have it. So you have all your zip ties in here already if you want to. And it makes it go a little quicker than trying to do each one as you go. So I go ahead and I only stick about 1 inch here, give or take. And then again, tighten it up. This is why I don't like to use my nails. But if you have that little gizmo that they sell that cuts these, that pulls and cuts them, you can get them on Amazon. That works really well. So that is that one. And you can see, let me move my board a little bit closer. As you start going around, you have your leaves. And this is why I said I cut mine at these at 12 because I wanted them to stick a little further out than my leaves here. And again, we would go all the way around. And I'll do another leaf for you. Oops, facing down. And this is a roll that was at the end. So that's why it's curling a lot. Remember, like I said, I go ahead and I'll just go ahead and lay them flat, like on something flat on top of them. And let me stick my thing through here. There we go. Oops. My zip tie doesn't want to come all the way through. There we go. And this is one without the little rubber band on it. Go in there. There you go. And again, by pushing it down here, once you cut it, you're pushing it down just so that, again, nobody gets their fingers caught, you know, on the little rough edge there. Let me fix this one petal. There we go. So as you do your petals around, remember what I said before, this side has a nice edge. Let me move all my things before they fly off the table here. So we have a nice edge. The raw edge is on the inside. We have a nice edge on top, raw edges on this one. And we have an overlapping with the nice edge, raw edges underneath, nice edge. So that way your raw edges are kind of hidden, so to speak. So that's those. Not hard, y'all. All right, so we got 2 done. We showed you the leaf or sunflower petals, which is very similar to doing the Dean Michaels petal. All right, and now we're going to do what we call the 3D sun pebble or Barbara petal. Okay, now this is a new one for me. So I got to go, let me grab my mesh, because I put it away like a silly person, since I did 2 little yellow ones for you. So I'm just going to take another yellow one out. I'm going to take it out of this one so it's not as curly. All right, so we're just going to cut this off a little bit here to make it a nicer edge. And we're going to measure 10 inches here on this one. Now, the other ones I used just a few minutes ago had a little bit of metallic in it. This does not. This is all just poly. No sparkly stuff in it. So this is this one. Now, the 3D sunflower, it can be done a couple of different ways. And hopefully I can show you the best way. Okay. So instead of the curl side being facing down, we're going to do this one so it faces up. And on this one, it's a good idea if you have something that you can weigh down the sides. Otherwise, it's going to curl up on you. And what we're going to do is do a straight line from here. Now, if you have a ruler, you can use a ruler. What I'm going to use is my line on my board here. And I'm going to cut it, hopefully, on a diagonal all the way up. I'm not going to pull it because that will shift the mesh. Okay, so we're going to put one of these off to the side. Now, there's different ways to do this. It's where you can take from the middle here, because see, it's my triangle is like this. And I'm going to use this to weigh down just a little bit to make it a little bit easier for you to see. So this would be the top part of my petal, right? So we're going to kind of make like a fold in the middle. All right, now you can glue this, not with a lot of glue, just a little bit. So if you want this to be more defined in the middle, that's a great thing you can do. If not, it doesn't matter. You don't have to. And what we're going to do, we're going to scrunch up from here. We're just going to scrunch up one side at a time. Okay, and this little flap here, I'm just going to kind of tuck it in here. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. Scrunch it up. And this little piece, you can just wrap it around. So see how it forms? I don't know if you can see it very good. It has like 3 little veins going in here. That's what you want in this one. Okay. Again, this is what we call the 3D sunflower, or the Barbara petal. So I'm going to do the same. If you so choose to, you can use the little rubber bands. And I'm just doing it so y'all can see. Okay. You can put the little rubber bands around many times as you want. You see all the little veins. There's like 3 of them. Okay. So I'm just going to leave a space so you can see this a little bit better. And again, going through, putting our zip tie in there. Oops, I put my zip tie in upside down. Y'all know about the little box I call it the little box, faces on the outside of your zip tie. That's the little box. So when you put it in, make sure the box is facing away so you can thread it. You'll know if you go to thread your thing and it doesn't, you don't hear that little clicking sound. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. Pull it as tight as we can. Cut it. Throw that away. And see, this one has more of a curl to it. So opposite of curls, this one curls down, this one curls up. And like I said, let me move my tools. If you wanted this to have more veins in here, when you do that center one, so you get more of a look like that, you can just take a little bit of glue, like part way up, and you can glue it just very little. And that way it will retain more of that vein look, if that's the look you want. Or if you want to leave it like this, you could still see the veins there. So isn't that pretty? So you got 3 different types of unique in the creek things you can do. This being the flowers, the greenery, which is the same as the Dean Michaels petal for the outside, and here it is on the inside. And then you have the 3D sun petal, or what they call the barber sun petal. And more 3D, I guess you can say, it's because you're getting more dimension in here, whereas you don't see all those veins. Oops, when this is all overlapped, it's just more scrunched in or ruffled together. But it's a really pretty idea. So these are the ones, if you're going to start out, these are the most simple ones, in my opinion, to go ahead and start with. You know, at least these 2, which are basically the same ones. So that's what I recommend. And then from there, start going into, try the sunflower one, the 3D sunflower. So again, I'll do it one more time, the 3D sunflower. Put my board down there. So you have your triangle cut in half, and again, cut it 10 inches each. Here's my board. Where the point is going to be your middle piece here. That's the part you're going to start by scrunching up like that. So you kind of get your middle vein. If you want to do both sides and crunch them together at the same time, it's whatever. I'm just showing you one way to do it. Go around. If you have any left over here, you can just wrap it around. And now we'll do this side. Just scrunch it up there. And when I say a little piece, if you have this little triangle piece laying here, just take it and wrap it around. And again, I'll use the little rubber bands for you so you can see. All right, and you can see the little, like the 3 little veins. And again, if you want to make this more defined in the middle vein, you can glue it just a little bit up if you want more of a defined petal. Oops. And so this one, we go here. Now, when you pick out your mesh or your poly burlap or whatever you're going to use, just make sure it's something that's going to stand out. If you feel that you need to make some extra holes, if you feel like this is too gappy for you, now keep in mind, you can move it. See, like my petal slid to the side. I can move it more in the middle like that. And keep in mind, as you start adding the other rows, it's going to start filling in. But again, if you feel this is too much of a gap, you can take your burning tool and burn 2 more holes in here if you feel you want to fill it in more. Totally up to you. That's why I like this petal, the Dean Michaels one, because it's almost like 2 petals, and it helps fill in that gap that you see, you know, in between here. But again, depending on the flower style you want to go for, this is the 3D, the Dean Michaels, and of course the sunflower green leaves. Hi, Oh my gosh, from the UK. Gosh, gosh. Oh, Julie, it's you. Can you do the Dean Michael? Sure, I can do that one. Not a problem. To me, it's the most easiest one to do, the Dean Michael. And there's 18 different petals to learn. And if I overwhelm you with them all today, you probably shoot me. All right. So this is what you're going to do. I'm going to move my little signs out of the way. You're going to take your mesh. And you're going to cut 10 inches. And like I said earlier, if you have a burning tool, as you're cutting your mesh, you can use your burning tool. Okay? If you don't have one, it's okay. And you're going to cut 10 inches. Get my little scraps off here. So with it, see how this curls up? That's called the curl side up. So you want to do it so the curl side is facing down. Now you have the nice edges here that are finished, and you have the sides where you would have cut. Okay, so I try to keep them in the same direction. I always have a finished edge to my right. Now the Dean Michaels is just doing a ruffle just like this. And you're going to ruffle it up. So you see you have what would be 2 leaves or 2 petals. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I got to do this with my right hand, is I'm going to just fold it over just like that. Okay. So again, I'm using those little tiny, tiny rubber bands that you get for the hair. Everybody, I know you can buy them at Dollar Tree and any of the, you know, Walmart or whatever. Oh, I broke that one. If you don't have rubber bands and you're making a whole bunch of these, you can use little clips of sorts to hold it in. But if you want to make all your leaves and stuff ahead of time before you put them in, so you're not folding and trying to stick them in, you can do that as well. Now, this one's towards the end of my roll, so it's going to curl a lot. So like I said, I'll take a bunch and just do this and let it sit like that for a while. And then it kind of flattens it out a little bit more. So I'm going to go this way on this one. I have my 4-inch. Now, if you want to use bigger ones, you can. These are the 6-inch ones. They're wider and thicker, but you really don't need such a big one to go in here because you're wasting a lot. That's why the 4-inch ones are good to stick in here. But it's up to you what you want to use. As long as you can get it through the hole, you can. If you don't, have zip ties, you can use pipe cleaners too. If you don't have them, you just got to make sure you do it really tight. All right, so I'm going to put my zip tie and go across just like this. Pull it tight. I'm going to push that little knobby thing down so nobody gets cut on it. And there's my Dean Michaels. So now what I have, this is the raw edge, nice edge. The raw edge is sitting underneath where this nice edge is. And then here's my nice edge. So again, here's the raw edge with a nice edge on top. And it goes that way. You want to do it as you go all the way around. And you start to get your flower. And then this is the Dean Michael too. But what we did it as, showing you as the sunflower or the green leaves petal. They'll actually call it sometimes too. So this is one I did using these petals the other day. I did a live last week, Thursday, I think it was. And this is the same design, but just going this way. And you can mix and match these. For instance, you can use an ombre type of one to go in there. You have, where did I put it? I just had it out here. You can use jute ones. I had a new Easter one here. Oh, here it is. So you can do ones like this in there. Your colors, you can do yellow, you can do then a pink and then a green or whatever. You can make your flower whatever you want to do, but you can mix it up. This is a deco mesh one that I have. If you're using different jutes, for instance, this is a jute. The whole thing is jute. A lot of people like using these for scarecrows and country or farmhouse style. You have jute, what they call jute plaid. So it has a plaid design to it. So you see the jute and then it has this white, like, I'm going to call it like cotton, but that's not really what it is. It's a polyester or poly. You have a jute that has a poly white line through it. I don't know if I get too much of a glare for you, right? You have a jute, again, that has a poly, a different design of it. So you have jute with poly in here, which is really nice if you want a little color. Then you also have these here. This has a little bit of metallic. You can see the shine in it. And this is like almost like an iridescent metallic in it. And this one, I'm going to take it out. This one's all poly. Poly meaning plastic. Okay, so you can see it looks shiny, just like your, raincoat would, a shiny raincoat would. So you have different types. And then, like I showed earlier, you have the poly burlap. So you can see the difference between a poly and a burlap. See how shiny this is? This is more poly jute. Yeah, poly burlap. Why do I say poly jute? So it has more of the burlap in it as compared to the poly in it. So those are just some of the types of different meshes you can use. And you can see here, this has no iridescent, no metallic in it. It's kind of plain. And here you see a little bit more shine to it. So it's really up to you to do what you just said for a character board. So Leslie, for character boards, now this one here, if you want to do it where you can put a, I'm going to use the word decal. In the middle here, or if you have something of a character face, you can use this one. The different boards, depending on how you're going to do it, I was showing earlier, this is the tree, or if you turn it upside down, it's the big tree. I'm going to switch cameras so you can see the boards a little bit better, because this camera is really close. So give me 1 second. Let me switch. There we go. So you have the big triangle board. And people make angels out of these. They make Christmas trees out of these. You can turn it upside down, make an ice cream cone or a carrot out of it. Really, whatever you want. You have the ring. And if you have a big enough sign that you want to put in here, you can do that, like a 12-inch sign, and put it in here like a scarecrow face and make this all about the scarecrow, on the outside. So yes, the decals you can do on the round boards. This is the large circle board, and then there's a small circle board. There's a cross. There's a variety there. There's a horse's head that you can do as well. I don't have all the boards. The angel wings. Isn't that cute? I love this one. I haven't done this one yet. I've done the trees. I've done the ring. I've done the big large round board. This is a new one I got, and I can't wait to make this. It's like a big bow tie. So, but the decal ones work best, if you have a solid background for it. If you're going to put a decal, for instance, on, like this is an 8-inch circle, so I'll give you an idea. So if your decal is 8 inches, and you can see where the petals in here, but you would want to go into the other ring down there so that it does cover it. Oop, I forgot which camera I was looking at. My bad. Let me change that. So this is an 8-inch board. So as you can see, so if your decal is 8 inches, you can see where it's going to cover up in the middle. I would definitely do this row. Oops. This row with petals, and possibly this row too, because when you put your board over it, you want the petals to be, covering it. If you want to do a smaller board, if it's a smaller decal, whatever decal you're going to use. Unique in the Creek does, have decals and all too, so you can look at that. You can go to Lori Jacobs, Hardworking Mom, and she sells decals too. So that's another place, and they both ship overseas because Unique in the Creek is based out of Canada, and Lori Jacobs is based out of South Carolina. The character boards. Yes, they don't. I don't have a character board that don't. But what I was showing you is just an idea as far as sticking, because I don't have those, this part being solid in the middle. So that's why I was just showing, if you had a sign or if you're going to put your decal on a piece of wood or something, you can put it on top just like that. The centers, you can use flowers. You can use what would look like a sunflower in the middle. Damon sells Unique in the Creek boards. He also does his old sublimation on it. I don't know if he sells decals. You would have to look on his site to see, because that I don't know. I don't have that answer, ma'am. But you can check. But you see down below, if you can do those lovely things. I have a YouTube channel too. That's why the word subscribe. Oop, which way? We're going this way. And I'm trying to reach a goal here. There's my shop down below. And if you guys haven't seen this, let me switch cameras. And I'm going to move the camera up so you can see better. This is the mesh roller. I have what I was saying. I have the website down there. So you can put your ribbons on here. You can put your mesh on here. This here. This is the old style. She has one where these rods just slot in. They don't go in through the holes. This is here. So when you put two meshes side by side, I don't think, do I have two open? Yes, I do. So when you put two meshes side by side, they won't stick to each other. You know how mesh likes to stick to each other? That's the purpose of these. So if you're going to, do that, I highly recommend this. I don't push normally people's products. That's because I don't want people to feel like they have to. But this I've had since 2018. It comes in this natural color, not the red, white, and blue, because that's something I painted that way. So you could see it all. So, but it comes in just a natural color, and you can decoupage it or design it, do whatever you want to it, kind of thing. But I do recommend, this is the collapsible one. It's $119. I have my affiliate link, listed as it strolls down below there. If you want to go ahead and use that. She is running a 15% off sale on these. So I have the code down there. Use the code SWAT15. So you get 15% off. And again, made in the USA. She does ship overseas. There are various ones and styles of these. This is the collapsible one. They have the triple, which does not collapse. The sides do not collapse down, etc. Sidekick, the single sidekick, the double sidekick, the Buddy Pro for wrapping paper, which goes up to 30 inches. So I'm in length. So really depending, what you want in your mesh holder or roller, buy it. It's, like I said, 15% off. She doesn't usually run sales. So this is kind of like a, hey. So, but again, use those links down below there. All right, y'all. So I'm going to stop with just those 3 petals. Okay. We have the green one, which is your sunflower green petal. We have the Dean Michaels, which I did here. And then we have this one here, which has, it's hard to see with my light shining in on that one. You can see the veins on it, which is the Barbara. One with or 3D sunflower. So those are the ones that try and play around with them. And next time we're going to learn some more. All right. If you have any questions, ask her. Yes, the realize that I love mine. And oh yeah, you have 2, Michelle, don't you? I have 2 of these big ones. I can only keep one up. I switch tables. I got a small table, but guys, if you see how it's stacked up there, all that ribbon's up there and your messes up there, it gives you more counter space and helps you keep a little bit more, you know, organized on your table too. So keep that in mind. Your birthday's coming up or anniversary or something, or just because you want to treat yourself, that's the way to go, y'all. That's the way to go. All right. Does anybody have any more questions about Unique in the Creek? I will answer them to the best of my knowledge if I'm on them. And because next time we're going to learn some more. Yay. So again, practice with these. Just have fun. If you got a board, just play with it and see, you know, what you like. All right. No questions? Okay, you guys. So again, if you can do any of those down there, the L, the S, and the F, and the other S that's coming right there now. See, the like, the follow. I can't say those words. And I have like the subscribe on is because I have a YouTube channel. Would love it. All right. You guys have a nice day. And I'll see you next time on Nonna's Nutty Crafts. Bye, y'all.